everybody. How are you all doing? I've been slacking a little bit these last few weeks. Last minute shows. Have no clue what I'm going to say until like 2 minutes before I hit go live. But not today, because today we have a very special guest. We have Matt Roth. You know him. He's always on Twitter. He used to do a lot of these audio recordings. I don't know if he's still doing those, but he's Matt Roth, and he's got a lot of opinions, and he was just on the Collecting and Connecting show. If you haven't checked that out, please do, so you can get an overdose of Matt Roth. But we're going to cover some things. Let's see where it takes us. Let's see where the chat takes us. And I see you in the chat right now, and thank you for being here. Some new names, including Morty, who says that I'm his favorite. So Morty, I'm glad you're here. And let's hit you with a Twitch guy right away. This goes out to Morty. Twitch guy! All right. So thank you for being here, Morty, and thank you for everyone else as well. And let's give Matt a little community because he's a community favorite. And then we will start our conversation with the one and only Matt Roth, aka the king of cardio. Here we go.
We love the community.
There he is.
Tandy.
Hello, Matt.
Can you hear me well?
Loud and clear, Matt. Thank you for making it here, Matt. I feel like you are starting a new chapter of the Matt Roth story. Used to be all about sort of Twitter by text, then it was Twitter by audio, and now you are a streaming superstar.
Well, thanks for having me on your platform, Tandy. You've always been one of my favorites. I appreciate your loyalty. Not many people have been around as long as you have. When did you start the show?
So the show, I believe I started, it was around the NBA Finals of the Bucks. The Bucks NBA Finals was right during that summer. So it's been a little over, I think it's almost been 3 years, actually. It's almost been 3 years, I want to say. But time flies. Time flies when you're having fun. But yeah, I mean, I was on Top Shot, I think, for about nearly a year. And then I decided to start creating content. I made those little clips where I would break things down with the little like PowerPoint presentations. And then after that, I decided I wanted to start streaming. So that's what I've been doing.
Well, you're the man. I'm not just buttering you up, but even the official Top Shot YouTube channel, they don't produce content anymore. And we've had some come and some go. We've had Team Hoddle. We've had The Judge. We've had a few more. And I cannot blame them for leaving. But again, I have to give you credit because it's cool that you stuck around. You could have bounced. So thanks.
Well, I appreciate the kind words, Matt. I feel like part of it, honestly, Matt, too, is that you sort of create like a location. You create like a little room. And I feel like I've created a room. However cozy this group can sometimes be, it just feels like a place where people can just come together and sort of relax, make jokes, and it sort of becomes something beyond. It's not like every week I'm like, I have to cover everything that's happened on NBA Top Shot. It's sort of expanded beyond that. I think it started that way, but that isn't really the way it is anymore. It's still covered, of course, but not having that stress that I may have had in the beginning actually kind of makes it easier.
Well, I know you play that meme, that community thing, and the irony, I don't know if irony is the right word to use, but like it's actually kind of like true. Like Top Shot does have a solid community in terms of Web3. Maybe their actions aren't as Web3 as we would like them to be. But in terms of just the community itself, which one is larger or just more cohesive than us, who have been just going back and forth on X now for 3 years? Who else does that? You know, do the apes still talk? Are there still a couple hundred of them every single day that chop it up? It's a little bit easier for us because we have the NBA narrative to talk about, to lean against. But yeah, what are they going to do? Talk about their traits every single day, like for the next 5 years? That's not going to work. And,
well, I don't. Yeah, yeah.
Can you name one? Can you name a bigger Web3 quote unquote community?
I can't. I mean, I'm not super familiar with every Web3 community, but as far as I can tell, I think Top Shot, through their ups and downs, definitely have the most dedicated community. I mean, the apes, what they have is they have their like in real life events, and they have those super cringe dance parties. And I don't know if you've seen those, but oh man, so cringe. And what else? I don't know. I mean, what's interesting or sort of ironic is that's what all the Web3 projects kind of based their value on in the beginning. It was all about the community, and it was all about the metaverse, and it was all about like finding your place in the internet, and like all of that was complete garbaggio. And like the only one that really stuck the test of time, honestly, is Top Shot for that in that regard. And it's pretty amazing when you think about it, because the narrative around Top Shot has changed so much, and yet you still have people who are still tied to each other through it.
Yeah, all of that metaverse stuff did turn out to be garbaggio, as you put it. I don't want to say a boomer, but I'm kind of feeling like that way. Like, my favorite food is like corned beef sandwiches. Like, I love tackle football. Like, I play poker. I grew up on rap music. What am I getting at? My point is, I was never really drawn to the metaverse stuff. I always kind of thought like, no, like that's kind of cringe. But I wish I was, because a full Bored Ape kit at the top was worth $1 million. And this isn't an exaggeration. This isn't me being dramatic. Maybe it was 900,000. But again, the ape itself was, I think, $280 to mint at the time. And the edition size was 10,000. And if you just held the ape, let's just say you got the most plain Jane ape possible. No super cool traits. But if you held the ape, you got the canine airdrop. And if you held it, you also got the mutant juice. And if you held all of that, again, all from the initial $280 purchase, you got the ape tokens, which you could just sell on Coinbase and ACH directly into your bank account at their top of, what were they, like $25 each? And depending on the amount of ape assets you had, like that determined how many tokens you got. But again, if you had just the most basic ape possible off of your $280, I think the whole thing, the whole kit and caboodle, at the top was close to $1 million. It's an insane story. The movie's going to be, I hope they get some good actors. Movie's going to be amazing. And it's like I said on the Connectin' and Collectin' podcast, you can't write the NFT story without a chapter on Top Shot. It's impossible.
You're right. And yeah, the Bored Ape story is so insane. And you think about people who hold through the ups and the downs, and imagine holding an asset that was worth that much money. And I don't know what they're worth today, but it's kind of amazing that people are. Isn't that kind of still incredible though, when you think about it, that people are still paying 30 grand for a JPEG? It's kind of amazing.
And that's the floor price, Tandy. And again, this was 4 years ago when they minted at 280. So to your point, yes, it's still like, wow. That's I know bubbles can take a while to deflate, but 30 grand still. And if you still have your mutant, I think those are around 5. Anybody that's got a mutant and is listening to this is so salty that they didn't sell. But anyway, yeah, my point is they don't see it the same way as we do, which is, wow, that's still worth a lot. Like, buddy, this thing was worth like 80 G's like 2 years ago. Like, I hate this thing.
Well, I know. I mean, I have some skeletons in my NFT closet, including the cool cat in this logo of this show, including I won that. I also won a World of Women. Together, those were about $80,000 at one point, and now they're probably worth about $2 grand together.
Oh my Lord. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So, yep, we've all been through it. It's just kind of, you got to wear your scars. That's kind of makes you a soldier of the Web3 experience, I feel. And Pohibigu has a good comment here. He says, is it fair to say what most experienced can be called J-pegging? I think that's great. And he bragged to his wife that he declined a $5,000 offer on a crypto dad. And those are probably today worth about $30. So everyone's been J-pegged hard by the OpenSea market, or whatever you want to call it, by the Web3 market. But anyway, Matt, yeah, where should we go with this conversation, Matt? I mean, I know you have a lot of thoughts about NBA Top Shot. I know you have a lot of thoughts about burning. I know you were here in the very beginning. When I listened to your interview on Collecting and Connecting, I heard that you started sports gambling on sportsinteraction.com, which was hilarious because so did I. I used to do parlays on sportsinteraction.com for like $5.
Yes.
Yeah, so why don't we, I mean, it's a Top Shot audience. Why don't we start there? Why don't you tell me, like, what are you kind of optimistic about moving into this next series, and what are you a little bit concerned about?
Sure, and feel free to rein me in if I start rambling. But just to touch on the sports interaction comment, I've been gambling on sports since I was, a child almost, 9, 10 years old, looking at the lines in the paper. You know, when I was a kid is when I'm 41, so the internet started becoming a thing. What, 93, 94, 95. And we had sports betting. So yeah, I've been betting on sports for a long time, and that's kind of where my love for NBA Top Shot comes from. Again, corned beef sandwiches, bench press, wrestling, boxing, like that's me. I used to go watch fights at the UAW Hall in Cleveland, Ohio. You know what I mean? So I never bought into the world of women or whatever NFT that you mentioned. I wish I did. I think it did a 30x or whatever initially.
Oh, yeah.
But you see what I'm saying. That didn't really mesh with my style. But I still like Top Shot because I don't really overthink it. I look at them as digital basketball cards. I think big picture, the market cap for digital sports cards will increase from here. And if you can kind of just like simplify it down to that node, you can kind of take it from there. And then, okay, if it's going to increase, who's going to spearhead adoption? Well, Top Shot kind of has so far, for better or worse. So that's where I'm at. I'm still buying some moments, still bought some moments today. I was just looking at them right now. Got a few Franz Wagner Rising Stars from Series 3. Not like the biggest Franz guy, but he just signed what for 5 years, 225 million, somewhere along those lines, maybe more. And I got him for like 50 cents a piece on Floaty. And I think the direction Top Shot is headed is keeping rookies scarce, which they should have from the start. But now we have like this supply overhang from Series 1, 2, and 3 pretty much. And I think they're going to target those rookies for burning as they should, because we have so many more of those than the rookies we have now. I think just as an example, what do we have for Wemby rare rookies? 400 total. What do we have for Chet? Right around 400 total. What do we have for Anthony Edwards rare rookies? About 3,200. So I know Edwards was Series 2, and I was just talking about Franz Wagner as Series 3. But yeah, I like some of these just cheaper cards that I think will get burned down in the future. So it's kind of a lot of thoughts at once there. But yeah, that's kind of where my head's at with Top Shot.
So that's in terms of what you're enjoying looking at in the market. You're looking at low risk. Your speculative plays are low risk. And I mean, I think that obviously buying so at the floor, basically your risk is almost nil. And if somehow you get lucky and they decide to do some big burning event, then you could profit.
Or I could profit just because people join Top Shot. So yeah,
sure.
To your point, the risk is nil. They're asymmetric bets. I'm betting $1. I'm betting 30 cents. That dollar could go to a zero. That dollar could also go to 100. Most people are thinking, oh my God, I can't believe Matt still thinks these things can 100x, right? But nobody knows. We've seen crazier things than a company like Top Shot make a comeback. So
yeah, who knows, man? We don't know. I mean, we can only go by what they've shown us moving forward. So, like, what have they shown us? What they've done in the last series with the NBA? What are they showing us currently with the WNBA? That's kind of like where I think that things are heading. Like, things are continually evolving, and they're obviously limiting, and they're making these events where you have to craft basically your common rookie debuts for your rare rookies for your legendaries, and so forth. So it'll be interesting to see if and how they do target particular sets. Like, I probably wouldn't make huge bets on it because you just have no clue if and when they'll decide to target anything. But like you said, it's a very small risk. So I do like small risks, and for that reason, who knows? Let's see. Hopefully it works out for you.
Are you making any purchases? What's the last moment you bought?
So the last moment I bought was kind of a fast break speculation play. So that's what I'm doing pretty much. I like making some fast break speculation plays. So in my mind, I think the last moments I bought was an Anthony Edwards rare, an SGA rare, I think a Maxi rare. So because these rares, some of these rares that were released in the playoffs were bigger releases than people had hoped in terms of circulation. So those prices came down. And I think that when Fast Break hits, and hopefully, Fast Break gets more and more popular, more and more fun to play, more better and better pricing and whatever, people are going to need those players. Those are some of the best players in the league in terms of the stats, so they can fill up the stat sheet. So that's my speculative play. A couple $18 maxi rares. That's his cheapest rare by about, I don't know, maybe $15. And like SGA also around the same price. And Edwards, his floor is still relatively high compared to what these other guys are. So I think his floor is like $37. But that's pretty much what I'm doing. I really enjoy Fast Break. To me, I think it's, I've played fantasy games before. I've obviously bet on sports before. Fast Break seems like the perfect blend between those two things. It's like, it's so low stakes, low risk, that it's not like, putting 20, 40, 50, $100 on a game and then, sweating it out. And then you can't even, at least for me personally, I kind of stopped gambling on sports because it was destroying my enjoyment of my own teams, of like watching my teams and like getting rugged in the last second when someone hits a 3 at the last second. Like I just couldn't take the variance anymore. And I was like, this is destroying my enjoyment of sports. So I'm going to have to stop. So
You
I
didn't have an
stopped.
edge, Andy. Just call it what it is. I don't either, but yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't have an edge.
I didn't have an edge. That's true. I did not have an edge. I was kind of just going with which way the wind was blowing and who I thought would win.
It's
doesn't
tough
really,
with sport, man. It's tough. How many people in the world do you think actually have an edge? Not not beards, not people putting down bets for other people, but people that are the source, the originators, the people.
Yeah.
50 people in the world, 100 people in the world, few and far between.
Yeah, actually, to be honest, so Stan's saying, be honest, you stopped because you suck. Really, the reason why I stopped, and I mean, obviously this is a bit of a tangent, but the reason why I stopped was because I think this is like a human condition thing. And if you don't do this, like you might do this in poker, hopefully you don't. But with sports gambling, I went on a losing streak. So I built it up from like very little. And I had a really bad losing streak over the course of maybe like a week where I just could not win to save my life. And this was after I'd done really, really well. I think I built it up. I started at like $100 and it went all the way up to like $3,000. So like I was on quite a nice run over the course of, I don't know what it was, call it 8 months or something. And then I went on a terrible, terrible losing streak. It was like, call it 15 straight losses or something. And I still had a good amount of money in the account, but I lost my head and I was like, I can't take this shit anymore. Like I can't lose it. I tilted. So I literally took whatever I had left, which was like $2,800 or something. And I said, I'm going to chop it up into like 3 plays and that's it. And like, I refuse to do this shit and lose more. And I went,
and you went 0 for 3.
Yeah. So after that, I was like, all right, I've had enough of this. This is bullshit. It's rigged. I'm not doing this anymore. So yeah, for that reason, I don't really gamble on sports. I do like tiny little bets. But anyway, my roundabout point was Fast Break to me is something more interesting, more engaging than straight up like Yahoo Fantasy. And obviously less of a sweat and less stressful than actually betting on sports. So for me, that's why it's so much fun. And also that's why I think it should be such a draw for people who are interested in both sides of that coin, who like gambling on sports, who like doing fantasy sports. I think to me, it makes perfect sense and it's a beautiful product. So that's why I'm very pro Fast Break. I know there's some people that are not so much, but that's my favorite thing probably on the platform.
I enjoy it. I wouldn't go as far as calling it a beautiful thing. I do think it's a net positive. I don't really have any criticisms of it. Maybe they could put some more valuable rewards up top just to be more attractive for people, because I see that it's not leading to tons of people joining the platform. And even though it's given more utility to rares, which is cool, like rare prices are still cratering. So on one hand, yeah, I'm like you. I do enjoy it. I play it every day. So why would I say I don't like it if it's something that I voluntarily just play every day and I get to sweat it, especially with WNBA. I've never really, since the sports interaction days of betting on Diana Taurasi 15 years ago or 20 years ago, 25 years ago. Well, I guess maybe she has been in the league for 25 years. She's 42. She's older than me, Tandy. God bless Diana Taurasi. But yeah, it's got me looking at WNBA box scores, and I've never done that before. So it's a cool product. It's not like the sickest ever. I think they could tweak it a bit. Back to, you mentioned Anthony Edwards. I think you said that was your last moment that you bought. His 40Ks should be great bets right now. I'm not sure if your viewers enjoy talking about like the speculating aspect of Top Shot. I kind of do. Again, I think they're going to target those for burning. And if you're sitting there watching this saying, well, Matt, all you're talking about is buying stuff because they might target it for burning. A, I'm fairly certain they're going to target those for burning. B, Edwards is one of my favorite players, and I would hold those rookies no matter what. Those 40Ks are sick. It's a really nice dunk. It's not from the Disney bubble, but it is from the see, here you go right here. It's from or maybe that is in the actual Disney bubble. Either way, there's no fans. That's not the Disney bubble. It's a cool card. It's only, you could make an offer and pick some up for 2 or just buy every one for 3. Those things were like $125 even after Top Shot's peak in February. It's pretty much because they were slowly dripping them out. But yeah, $3, that's a great deal. I want to buy all of those. So I still have this obsession with Top Shot where even as critical as I am, I want every Anthony Edwards card for $3. And I look at Live Token every single day. And I'm addicted to Floaty. And if I can catch Pranksy dumping 100 or 200 moments, I'm going to buy a lot of them. And that guy's not watching this, guy or girl, I think guy. But if he is, he's probably thinking, oh my God, this guy Matt has said my name 50 times. I've never heard of this guy Matt in my life. And he's tweeted out my fucking name 50 times and about my Top Shot account. Will this guy keep my goddamn name out of his fucking mouth and stop watching my pockets, goddammit? Pranksy, I have no ill will towards you. You're a legend. I remember when you bought 1,000 of those Bored Apes, you had a sell wall of 1,000 Bored Apes. 1,000 Bored Apes, the legendary sell wall. And I think he had them listed at, I don't know, $1,000 a piece or something. Maybe I'm misremembering the 1,000, but no, I'm pretty sure it was right around there. Pranksy had so many of them. Really, he had 10% of the supply, man. And if he kept those things, I'm sure he's just fine. But he would have a lot more money. I think he paper handed $1 billion or something in A's. But yeah, I'm kind of obsessed with checking deals and looking at Series 1, and those floors are just so thin. It's like a coiled spring. If we just get any bullishness, I mean, those cards should really rise in value. Look at the floors on some of those moments, Tandy. It'll be $24. Then the next one's $29. Then the next one's $64. Next one's $79. Granted, if they start selling, some people are going to start listing theirs faster, but those floors are thin. So yeah, I still have this FOMO that I could miss out on those moments going up in value because I really think they should. Again, with as critical as I am drinking the Kool-Aid. I do think that the moments are cool. I do think that Series 1, especially, those moments are, I don't care what tier they are. I don't care that they're called common. Those moments are rare, man. When they have 1,215 copies, that's rare. There's a billion basketball fans. I know everybody's sick of hearing that because nobody's on Top Shot. And they used to be when China, there's a billion fans, blah, blah, blah. And here there's 500 of us. But dude, I mean, some of these cards, you're talking about 990 copies. Give me a break. If this thing ever catches on, I mean, do you disagree, Tandy? Do you think I'm crazy to think that? I mean, let's just look at Julius Randle, not my favorite player. I have 3,200 cards, Top Shots around there. I might have 2 Julius Randles, not my guy, but for $4 for his debut, do you think I'm crazy for thinking that like that could 10x and I wouldn't like be shocked? I wouldn't be like, oh my God, no, like, oh yeah, sure, I could go back to $40. Like, anyway.
No, I think that I mean that's like the core speculation of Top Shot is like, can it attract the masses again? Can it become something where your like Barstool Sports and Wall Street Bets types come back and want to get involved again? Or perhaps those people came and left and it's a different audience. Maybe it's the more just like NBA or fantasy. That's why I'm very pro Fast Break, because I think that the fantasy groups and the physical card groups, like those to me are the groups that if they were to come here and understand better what NBA Top Shot's all about and maybe understand it on a level where it feels cool to them. Because you look at like physical cards, I still don't really quite understand why physical cards are such a draw. Like why do people love physical cards so much? Why do you see these this event that's going on right now and
In
so
Cleveland,
many
the National.
exactly the National
IX Center.
right, filled with people, filled you know, and crawling with people because people absolutely love physical cards. Meanwhile, you know, you buy a Wemby, there's like a crate, what's it called? Big shipping containers on the sea coming from China, and they're filled with fake Wembys. Like, there's so much of this weirdness going on with physical cards that physical collectors don't seem to care about. Whereas Top Shot has the advantage in that regard. It just doesn't quite have the advantage in terms of those people getting it. They just don't get it yet. And to your point, if there comes a day where they do get it, and there's 4,000 Julius Randle rookies, then no, I wouldn't be surprised if it rises in price from $4. But I think it's like the age-old question of, as they continue to create new stuff, shiny new toys, how do you keep the balance in check? Like, you know, because right now that's always also what people in the community are talking about. And it's the same thing with NFL all day. Like you keep on putting out new product, and the new product becomes more attractive than the old product, even if the old product is like the rookies. The people who are on the platform and who are buying would prefer the new stuff. So it's this constant tug of war. And I think like the only thing that really makes this whole point moot is if just tens of thousands of people find the product and really start to enjoy the product. And that's their biggest challenge. And that's what Jacob, when he was on the show, basically said, that that's like where they're headed for the next series. They're focusing in on growth. And that to me is like the $1 million or $1 billion question.
What? By doing what?
Well, they didn't give specifics. They didn't say what exactly they're going to do. I mean, this was
it's not rocket science. They should be sending Top Shot Tandies and King Brett's to sports card shows. I'm serious, man. And then you guys talk to people about Top Shot all fucking day. If you asked the average collector at the National, at the IX Center in Cleveland, Ohio right now, to explain Top Shot to you, they would make it 16 seconds at most before they were at a loss for words. Nobody has any idea. It was a flash in the pan, right? And it's simple, and everybody overthinks it. What's their mission? Who are they going to go after? They're digital fucking, sports cards. Like, that's it. Like, and if you think that's really stupid, okay, I understand. But if you're like me and you think, okay, lots of things are getting digitized, lots of things are getting tokenized, that kind of makes sense for sports cards. I don't have to pay for grading. I don't have to take pictures with my phone. I don't have to worry about buying counterfeits. I don't have to go to the post office. I don't have to spend time on comp pricing. Oh, one sold in May for X, you know what I mean? Meanwhile, there hasn't been more than 3 sales in the past, year. When you're looking up those prices, you get what I'm driving at. Like, these are sports cards on steroids for all of their faults. Some of which, just to kind of like pivot out of nowhere, some of the problems with Top Shots, which it would be cool if they could address somehow, is what happens if they do lose the license. And that's not something I've ever complained about on Twitter. For 3 years, every single one of my complaints has been supply and demand related. The only reason I bring it up now is I just lost my entire record shop account. It's gone. It's just ether, dude. It's vaporware. And there's nothing I can do. So it would be cool if Top Shot just had something, I don't know, in writing that basically said if something like that were to ever happen, I don't know, we would recreate the NFT, which they can't do. So again, I'm just like thinking out loud here. But you see what I'm saying, right? If you're a big whale, let's say you want to spend $10 million, like, and they don't have an answer for you as to, hey, is it a 1% chance? Is it a 5% chance? Is it a 2,000 to 1 shot that my cards just poof, they're gone? I kind of went into a digression there, but I think that is kind of a big issue. And I'm not like super like warm and fuzzy about the fact that like my entire 600 plus card record shop collection just evaporated.
I don't think that's I don't think you're wrong in asking that question. I don't have the answer. I don't know, but you're not wrong. And I would hope that it would be something where it would just like live on the blockchain forever and you'd always have access to it. And I think that if I'm not mistaken, they've said something like around that in the past where
They
you
might
can
have
always
addressed this.
where you can always put it to a third-party wallet and like you always have the NFT. But at the same time, I have a feeling you could have done that with a record shop NFT also. But if it doesn't link to anything, then what is it? So I don't think you're wrong in that regard. And something I was thinking about too is like it's almost like religion or politics where people have just bought into this idea, let's say, of physical cards. And like, this is cool and we like it and we understand it and it's valuable to us. And like, that's all it simplifies it, but that's all it is. And that you have millions of people or hundreds of thousands of people who feel that way about physical cards. That's why I'm always banging my drum where like you have to find some kind of a link to the physical card people in that, not just saying like, oh, our digital cards are way better than physical cards, but I want to see like a marriage between the two. Like, oh, we're doing this really cool giveaway. You can only get this really rare physical card by opening these digital packs on NBA Top Shot. And if you rip it and you get the right one, then guess what? You get that logo man, Dino Raja or whatever, and you can only get that logo man through these digital pack rips. And then you do something vice versa where they get their physical pack rips. They get something really rare and cool. And guess what? This is different than what you're used to. No grading. You can sell it instantly. You can see the sales history instantly. And guess what? It's on the NBA Top Shot website and just QR code this and you're right there. Like, I wish they had that kind of cross-pollination because I think doing it that way would be way more effective even than going to card shows and being like, let me tell you why, my thing is super cool and you should like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't mean as much in terms of like why Top Shots are like so sick and why like cardboard is so sorry. I just meant people really have no clue. We're like so deep into Top Shot, like we don't realize people have no idea. Like they don't even know like, oh, do I buy those? Can I sell them? Like if someone plays the highlight, do I get paid? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it. So it would help to at least have a booth. Why aren't they at National to begin with? Like,
good questions. I mean, I remember there was a video clip of Rock Doggy, Aaron. He went to a game in Charlotte, I remember. And I remember he asked everyone, do you remember this video?
I know he's from Cleveland. I don't remember the video, but I like him.
Oh, no. So maybe it wasn't Charlotte. It could have been a Cavs game. I don't know for sure. But he was asking everybody, hey, do you know what NBA Top Shot is? And like, no one. I think it might have been like one person out of 50. And this was in like 2022.
2%. Yep.
Yeah. So I think you're spot on there where NFTs, Top Shot, Web3, Metaverse, like 99% of the people don't know what the hell that is. They don't have the time in their day to even consider what it is. So yeah, we are definitely absolutely in our own little cult, our own little bubble. And like, it's top of mind to us, but the vast majority of people, it just makes no sense. And even if you were to, stamp it on a NBA broadcast, it still wouldn't really feel like it made that much sense. I mean, I put it to you this way. Let's say you're watching, and now the rights are going to Amazon. So let's say you're watching the NBA on Amazon next year. And it says something like, hey, you can own this little NBA figurine and every time that guy dunks in a game, your figurine will gain like 5 Jubilee Jew points. And you'll be like, what the hell does that mean? And I'm not interested in next. And I just feel like that's probably how NFTs appear to the average person. So that's why I just think you have to try to meet people where they are and do it in a way that they understand.
Yeah, but you said they need to cross-pollinate or however you put it, but they already have the technology in place. They could just slap on that screen, so-and-so gets season tickets because he's got a Series 1 base set.
They should do that.
That takes 8 seconds to read, pretty easy to understand, and it illuminates the differences between cardboard and Top Shot. It's like, oh no, it's easier to track how many people have. And when we can track that, they can lock it and we can give them free stuff as a result. We can give them airdrops. Everybody loves airdrops. And to give Top Shot a little credit, they have been leaning into airdrops. Everybody loves it in crypto. They have been leaning into burning as well, right? So I will give them some credit. You've been around a while. They didn't want to burn. Remember that?
I remember that.
Like, excuse me, burn? Like, we made these things. Like, what do you mean burn them, right? Because burning them also reduces the supply for the 1% chance that Top Shot does become the most successful ever. Then they're going to wish they had those moments back. Why? Because they get 5% on each trade. So the more trades.
But they can always create more, though. That's why I don't know how much I buy that part. But okay.
Good point. They can always create more. And to your point, the more valuable they are, the higher their fee is. The 5% of 0 is still 0. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Top Shot Tesla is like burn up 60K Bruce Brown. How dare you? Yeah, I mean, I think that, I guess it's not really that important, but like the burning, I may have had something. I remember when they were against it, and I thought it had something to do with the fact that, you know, they have to negotiate these rights. I don't think it's so easy to like get the play they want, the player they want, et cetera, et cetera. And it's like, oh, now you're going to burn it. At some level, that's probably why they didn't like the idea. And then I think that once maybe they saw that other platforms were doing burning and other NFT projects were doing burning and crafting, it felt like it was not such a horrible thing. But I'm like you. I believe that they do need to continue leaning into burning, even though that's something that that's more for like people on the platform, but they do have to please the people on the platform. But in my opinion, obviously the biggest challenge is getting those other people that we mentioned, the people that are not on the platform or don't quite get it. So it really remains to be seen how they intend to do that, how they're going to pull that rabbit out the hat. What else, Matt? What else you got?
You want to talk about All Day a little bit? Do you have an All Day account?
I have an account, but I'm not active at all. I'm just not a big football guy. I used to back in the glory days of the New England Patriots, but ever since they got rid of Tom Brady, I don't really watch football that much. But I know you're a big All Day guy, and I know that people in the chat or someone on Twitter wanted to hear your takes on All Day. So why don't we entertain the people in the chat who are All Day fans, and you can educate us.
Yeah, so I have a very small All Day account, so I'm not a huge All Day guy, and I've criticized them quite a bit. What I think about All Day is I think the moments are really cool. I think the product is sweet, and that's the truth. If you're a football fan like me, I played football. I grew up playing football. I started playing tackle football in 3rd grade. I'm from Northeast Ohio, like, you know, Brownstown. And just some of the highlights I could just sit and watch. And I don't have the most patience. So the fact that I can just sit and watch those moments and reminisce about the old days, like, it just goes to show they made a really cool product. And the question you keep asking is how they're going to onboard people and grow the brand. And I don't know the answer to that. For All Day, I think it comes with, I mean, I know it's easy to say, but it comes with not having so much inventory worth so little. When you go on All Day and you see your favorite player that was your idol when you grew up and his debut is only $1, it's just kind of like a black eye for the site. You want that card to be kind of valuable so you can text your friend, yo, remember so-and-so, you know, his card on all day is sick. When you say that about a card and then your friend looks and it's just, you know, there's a sell wall of 100 of them for $1 each, it just takes away from some of the allure. So again, I think it all comes back to supply and demand. And if they can just burn down some of those 10,000 counts and create more scarcity, which equals value, they're going to be in better hands, because they only have, Tandy, I keep looking at that cryptoslam.io and posting those screenshots, and I keep hoping someone's going to say, Matt, that CryptoSlam stuff, that's fake news. These numbers you're posting, it's incorrect. But nobody ever does. So they really only have like 130 unique buyers a day. That's scary. I mentioned Record Shop 10, 15 minutes ago. Like at the end, that's kind of how Record Shop was. 130, 160. Wait a second here. Is there only 14 buyers today? You know what I mean? And I saw that their gross, Tandy, NFL All Day's gross for the 24-hour period was like $5,000. What's 5% of $5,000? $250. So they made $250 in one day. I know that the overhead, well, I don't know anything, but their overhead probably isn't super expensive, but still only $250 a day in fees. That's not a lot. I think people come from seeing guys like you and I high-fiving on Twitter and having a good time. I don't think it comes from advertising. When Patrick Mahomes tweeted, it didn't move the needle, Tandy, at all.
Because that goes back, I think, to what we said. That goes back to what we said. It still feels like a very foreign concept to the majority of your average football user, let's say football fan.
But they're willing to overlook the weirdness, the foreign feel. If number go up, right?
Yep.
Nobody was saying this is so stupid in February of 2021. Everybody just wanted to pile all in on Top Shot and sign up for an account. It's just when you have so many moments, man, it's tough, because everybody has their own reason for why prices went up in February 2021, although they're not unique reasons. We all share the same reasons. We were all stuck at home, stimulus checks, wanted something to do. Crypto was going up. Everything was going up. My phone wouldn't stop ringing for gym equipment. Used cars were going up. What's my point? What people fail to mention is the reason the LaMelo Ball rookie card went from $2 to $5,000. That was his only card, Tandy. If your kid wanted a LaMelo Ball Top Shot, you had one choice. You were funneled to one card. That's it. And what people said was, and then they started making 7,500s and 15,000s, and people started freaking out in the Discord, said, I'm selling my Top Shot account. And the big whales started buying them, like Pranksy. What was the reason that people were freaking out was because they were saying, geez, you guys in Series 1 made 1,000 counts. $39.99 was your highest count. Now you're making 7,500. Now you're making 15,000. You know what Top Shot said? Okay, but we're going to make so many higher counts that these ones are going to stick out like a sore thumb for being low. I said, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. That's not going to happen. You're going to need so much demand to soak up that supply. You know what I mean? And the opposite happened. Of course, the opposite happened. No one looks back on a Donovan Mitchell 15,000 and says, that's the sickest. At least I don't have his 60,000. You know what I mean? No one does that. No, it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. People could not care less. So yeah, that's not rocket science, and I'm not brilliant for having that take, but nobody talks about that. People were funneled to a single card. That's why those moments were flying. If you wanted an Anthony Edwards moment, you had two choices. Now how many do you have, right? And sometimes people will go into it thinking they want to buy the sickest one, but hey, maybe they see a 60K that just happens to be a game winner, and they convince themselves, they connect the dots in their head, that they're going to buy 500 of those. Because one day that's going to be recognized. And then they don't buy the rookie anymore. So there's just so much solution, so much inventory that you just got to cut down that supply.
I feel like that deserves this clip. Where is it? Here it is. Yeah, supply. Supply. So there was too little supply. It created a really crazy imbalance. Then there was too much supply, and now we've sort of tried to correct it again into the other direction. And
We have a
I know you talked.
disproportionate supply now. Sorry to interrupt. We have a
Yeah.
disproportionate supply now. We have
Mhm.
scarcer moments in later series. That was never the plan. And so a lot of people, they come back at me with counterpoints on Twitter and they'll compare cardboard to top shots. Say, well, Matt, that's how it is in cardboard. A, I didn't get the top shots to mimic cardboard. B, cardboard, when it started, they didn't front load. There's not 20,000 Babe Ruths out there, but Top Shot did. We have more moments in series 1 and 2 and 3 than 4 and 5.
Yep.
So
Yep.
how dare you undercut the scarcity from the earlier series? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And you've had all the time in the world to go back and burn them. They've leaned into burning. How many burns did they just run for the playoff moments? 35 in a row? No, I'm serious. I'm not. How many? 25, 30 in a row?
You tell me. I'm not sure.
Around there. Yeah, they ran about 30 burns in a row for playoff moments that were already scarce in the hundreds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, well then go back and burn the cards from series 2 when people thought they were buying something scarce that turned out not to be. And if your answer is, well, Matt, things change, we have to iterate, we're in beta, fine. I get it, but it's a fragile market. Treat it with care. Go back and sweep it up if you can. Don't just say no one put a gun to your head. Whoa, hey, you know what I mean? Like, and when you talk about Top Shot debuts, it's like, oh, well, that player like stinks or whatever. Like, well, then why did you? Like, the debut should be cool, man. It should be an honor to have a Top Shot debut for every player. I'm not saying they should all be worth heaps. You know what I mean? I'm very picky about the cards I have. I don't have a single card from a single pack, and I have over 3,200 moments. They're all handpicked from the board, from the market.
Yeah, no, you make good points, man, and the passion comes through, and it's clear that you really care. It's clear that you really like the product, and it's clear that your vision for kind of correcting some supply wrongs of the past is some really heavy burning. And I don't disagree with you. I also, you made a point too, which is like they could sweep, and there's a part of me that wonders if that's an alternative that maybe they'd prefer, which is that instead of running big burning events for old moments that like maybe for some reason they don't want people to go now and go start buying up old moments to burn them. And if that's the case, then I like what you just said, which is, so they're really good. Their business model is selling packs. They know how to sell packs. They know how to make them attractive. So what if they are able to just kind of ramp that up enough, in a healthy way, of course, that they can have enough of a margin that instead of asking you to now go and buy, to go and burn like dozens or hundreds of game recognized game from like series, whatever, 2 or 3, they then take whatever it is, 10 grand, 15 grand, whatever it is, whatever they were able to just kind of create from creating more packs that people had a chance at something really good, let's say. And they take that, and every month they just kind of burn stuff off themselves. They just buy 10 grand of stuff here, buy 10 grand of stuff there, buy 10 grand of stuff there. To me, I think that could potentially also be a solution. And actually, I saw someone said something about what's it called? There's like a meme coin right now that people are creating, beta, $beta. Do you know anything about it?
I do, and these guys are great for at least trying to build on flow. They're like the Top Shot Tandies of the meme coin world. They haven't left us just yet. So yeah, Steve on Twitter. Also, Same TX, is that his name?
I think it's Samit.
Samit, yeah. I was thinking of TX like transaction or something, but yeah, both have meme coins in motion. They're pretty cool. Samit gave me 40, so 20 and 20 to give away to 2 people. I'm gonna make a post about that. And Steve is working on beta. And yeah, everybody should check both of those out. So
what I've seen, I haven't really taken a really deep look into it yet, but from what I've seen, like they are rewarding people with these coins if you do certain things on Top Shot, which I think is really cool and different and clever. And it's a way for um, it's a way to do some of the things that you're talking about, honestly. It doesn't necessarily have to come from Dapper in this case. We've seen community-led initiatives like that. We've seen burning from like Banana Mac and other people, Jake the Shake and things like that. And now in this case with this beta coin, we're seeing things where like you collect a certain set and then you get beta in return. And
yeah, let's
so
give the audience an example. So one from yesterday is event number 29 and its requirements. You need to have purchased any rare moment in July this month, post proof, and your Flow wallet address, and you might get some beta. It looks like if you purchased a rare moment that was over $20, you get 500,000 beta, and if you purchased a rare moment that was under $20, you get 250,000 beta. So that's pretty cool.
That's very clever and
Very clever.
Definitely deserve this drop.
Beta.
So beta people, get in touch with me if you need that video for your official campaign and we can work out a deal. Yeah, so that's cool though. I mean, it's cool to see that. And again, it just kind of shows the strength of this community. And, you know, you're going to have people who saying like, well, why is the ingenuity coming from the community? We want to see more ingenuity coming from the Top Shot side. And I think let's just be grateful that there still is a very vibrant community. And I just think it says a lot. And that's how we started out with this show, talking about how impressive the community is for Top Shot through all the ups and the downs.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Tandy, but Top Shot should do more. And if I were in charge, if I were Roham, I would be putting up my moments every single day as prizes for leaderboard rewards. And someone might say, hold on, Matt, he doesn't have to do that. Of course he doesn't have to do that. That's what I would do. Treat people like how you would want to be treated. You see how positive the responses are to these burn boards, and they create buzz and engagement, and people go to Top Shot and they click buttons. That's what Top Shot wants. At the end of the day, they want people clicking buttons on their site with low bounce rates. Even if they never had any sales, they'll always have sales. But even if they never had any, if they had tens of thousands of people clicking buttons on their site all day, they'd be just fine. They could have advertisements. They would make a lot of money. What am I getting at? Burns drive people to the site, and they click buttons, and they high five on Twitter, and they retweet one another, right? And it turns into like this positive social media cycle, which Top Shot on its own somehow can't seem to manufacture. But they already have the recipe for success. All they have to do is follow Nicole's lead with Burns. She has what, 1,000, 1,500 followers? Top Shot has like 250,000. So why not follow her lead? Why doesn't Roham say, hey, you know what? It's the off season. We're having fun this week. I'm putting up a cosmic, I'm putting this up. Like, I would do that if I were him. Again, I completely understand he doesn't have to, but that's something I would do. And it doesn't have to be personal with him. Maybe just Top Shot as a website can put up some more cards than they currently are. So that's kind of where some of my frustration comes from. I think it's such a cool product. I think it's already past the proof of concept stage. And now they're like going back to it. Like, well, how can we make this work? Who do we sell these to? Who's our audience? Like, wait a second. We kind of already figured this out. Gaming, locking, burning, like it's kind of set. Like the differentiators are already here. Do you think I'm crazy for thinking that some of these Series 1 moments can 10x from here, Tandy?
Not necessarily. I mean, like a $4 Julius Randle, like we said, we'll go back to that again. Like that could definitely.
Let's use another moment. We're going to get dragged for the Julius Randle. That is not the moment that I want to use as my example. And I used a terrible example on Collected and Connected too. I'm like, these people are nuts. They don't love these cards. Like Goran Dragic is the best. I was thinking, maybe that wasn't the best example to use. But
Let's see. Who do we like here?
and the actual Disney bubble moments are historic. There's a chance those wind up with all of the value because
Yeah.
it's the COVID bubble that's never going to happen again. And there's people in masks and fake fans and YouTube ads and Black Lives Matters courts. You know what I mean? And jerseys. Yeah. Say her name on the back. Like those are real collectibles.
Yeah. Well, like a Sabonis rookie right here, right? A Sabonis rookie is $7. There's a world where
not rookie. Debut, not rookie.
Okay, well, what's the difference? Is there? Oh, because there's a rookie on the Origins, right?
Well, a rookie's a rookie. That's not Sabonis's rookie year. That's from December 2019. He wasn't a rookie.
All right, I see what you're saying. All right, we're splitting hairs here, but the Top Shot debut.
Can we stop for 1 second? Because
all right, go ahead.
The point of those debut badges is they were to kind of serve as like Top Shot rookie, or like rookie cards on Top Shot, like kind of similar. Right. But we've gotten away from that. We've gotten totally towards, if it's not a Wemby rookie or if it's not a Caitlin Clark, like I don't want it. Like that's a cool card, a Sabonis Series 1. Like just because it's not Wemby doesn't make it not cool. So
that's the rookie actually. This rare card right here is the rookie from 2016.
It's a fake rookie. Yeah, that's not a real rookie, but yeah, it's a fake rookie.
So that's a fake rookie, but then what's the Top Shot debut then?
That's a real Top Shot debut.
But this is a fake rookie?
Yeah, you want to see a real rookie? Look at Anthony Edwards, 4K. That's a real rookie. Or LaMelo Ball. Look at LaMelo Ball's debut. That's a real rookie.
Or like a Wemby, etc.
Perfect. Yeah.
But yeah, I hear what you're saying. Like,
because it was made in the year that the player was a rookie.
Yeah, this is the rookie card right here.
Wow, $38. Wow, man, that card was $5,000. That's not Top Shot's fault. He's how the mighty have fallen. He has a lot of upside. I thought he was really good. He was really good. He was like historically great initially with the numbers he was putting up. I think that's a triple-double that he had in the purple card.
He got injured, right? And so that's why also people are down on him.
Yeah, he's been very injury prone. He's been very goofy off the court. The Hornets have been terrible. And Top Shot has been down only. Wow, his cool cat is 225. Do you have any cool cats?
I do not. I did not join into the cool cats craze.
I didn't either, but the moments have grown on me. They do look pretty cool, and a lot of them, are from that COVID time period. So I do like the cool cats.
Mm-hmm.
There's
anyway,
on your boy Sabonis' head. Sorry.
Anyway. But I think my point is, yes, there's a world I can see where that $7 Sabonis is worth $70. Like that doesn't make that. I don't think that's crazy. Even if you just had a percentage of those national types that goes to the national conference and with their baseball caps and their bushy beards, like if just a percentage of those people decided to get involved, I don't see why that couldn't happen. And I think that's obviously the bullish case for Top Shot. And I'll also say that I agree with you in terms of like, if I'm Roham or I'm one of these very early adopter people who have a big stake in the product, if it succeeds, then yes, I mean, do whatever guerrilla marketing or whatever marketing tactics you want to do. Just try them all out and see what sticks. I mean, we are in beta after all. And I don't disagree at all with what you said there either. So I think that was a good point. Well, Matt, we are over an hour. I feel like
one last thing. Sorry, before I forget it.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Again, on the topic of Roham, I would just want to strengthen the resolve of the community. And if that takes things like burning down a Dwayne Wade, even if to him that's stupid, let's just say I'm Roham. I'm thinking to myself, this is so dumb. I cannot believe they are still talking about these. I would just say, fine. Fucking burn those things. I don't want to hear about those ever again. If you're telling me that that's going to make people a little bit happier, figure out a way to just burn some of them. I wouldn't just like ignore it and say, why do you keep talking about the Wades? And it's weird that like he doesn't mix it up with us that much, or like nobody does. I get it because people really hold them to account for what they say, but this isn't like religion or politics or nuclear war. Like it's okay to talk to us anyway.
Yeah, well, we deserve this drop now.
Rohan.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't answer that one. I don't know where Roham's at or what he's up to or what his opinion is, but it would be great. It would be great to hear from Roham. Hopefully we do hear from him again someday soon in the future. But Matt, I know we could probably go on for another hour easily, and we'll have to have you back on. Do you want to have any shout outs or tell people where to find you, or have any last words, or what do you want to tell the people, Matt? I'll give you the stage. Go ahead, Matt.
Wow. Nothing really. Hopefully you have me back on and I can talk to everybody again soon. And if you are buying Top Shots, check out Series 1. Check out those thin floors. And hopefully the best is yet to come.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, Matt. I know, like I said, your passion definitely oozes through the screen. Stan says we need a fist bump in honor of the judge returning. Listen, Stan, when the judge decides to finally stop dodging me and come on the stream, we will play that video clip multiple times. That is a promise. And Boston Based enjoyed the appearance, and that's about it. So thank you, Matt. You can get back to your day, and thank you for making the time, and we'll definitely do this again. And it was a pleasure chatting.
You're the man, Tandy. Appreciate you.
All right, take care.
Static Selector.